In this video, I'm going to show you how to use subawards.com in order to send your subaward to Tulane University. The first thing you'll do is go to a web browser and type in subawards.com. You'll be redirected to this URL, and you're going to see welcome to subawards.com here at the top. The first thing you need to do is register a free account here. It's right here where it says login below, or click here to register. So what we're going to do is click here to register. And then we're going to go through and fill out this information. Once you've filled out all of your information here, first name, last name, title, I've just put in an imaginary university here. You'll put in your DUNS number, email, phone, and then you'll make your username and password. So make sure you enter all of this here. Once you do that, you'll hit continue. Give it a second. Then once that goes through, you'll see user agreement. You'll scroll through here, accept the user agreement, and accept. And then you'll go back to your email account that you put in, and you will activate your account there. And once you click on that email, it'll bring you to this screen that says welcome and your Subaward's account has been created. So then we're going to go and we're going to log in here. So once you put in your information, you will sign in for the first time. You're going to see some information here. You can just dismiss this if you like. Some information about Cayuse here. What you're going to see initially is your proposal screen. So what we're going to do is create a proposal from scratch. What you can do is go to the top right and create proposal, and you'll get a few different options. The option you'll choose in order to send a subaward to Tulane is Research Subaward Proposal. Right here, it'll even tell you the subaward proposal for internal use for sending to other S2S sites. So what you're going to do is select this one and hit create. Once you've done that, we're going to name the subaward. I'll just call it that to make it easy. And you're going to pick which organization. When you logged in, you got to select the organization you're working out of. So we called this one Imaginary University. And we're going to pick an IDC rate that we'll enter later. We'll just say type 1. And we'll select the number of budget periods. Let's say this one has 5 budget periods. And let's say the due date is July 1st. Validation type, if this is an NIH proposal, you'll pick NIH. If it's any of these other types, you can pick one of those. We do not recommend using this for NSF proposals, by the way. So I'm going to pick NIH, and then we're going to create the subaward, and we'll get started in filling it out. You'll see it brought us into our subaward. It started us on the budget page, but what I want to do is let's go up to performance sites. Let's start at the very beginning and just a layout so you guys understand what's going on here. If you see the number 1, that means page 1. So this is page 1, page 2 under budget. We have key persons, we have performance sites. First, we're going to fill out this performance site to the best of our ability. So go ahead and fill out all of this information. Now that you've done the performance site section, we're going to move on to the key persons. Right here, when you go to key persons, you're going to click the pencil icon to add a key person. If you've been working in it before, you might see your own name there ready to go. If it's the first time, you may have to search for your name. You can find, so the person that I'm pretending in this instance that I am Roland Jackson of Imaginary University, and I'm going to click on that and add selected key person. Again, you can add other people too. If you want to create new professional profiles, you can add your own names into the system if you want. But if you are the person that created your own profile in subawards.com, you should be able to search for your own name and it'll show up. So I'm going to go ahead and add selected key person. When we do that, we get a screen here where we can add some information about this person. So Roland Jackson is going to be involved in all 5 budget periods. You can select how many of those they will be involved in. From here, we can start adding in some documents. So the first thing we'll do is add in our biosketch. So I'm going to click Add and choose Final. And I'm going to pick my biosketch from my computer and add it in here and upload it. So there we have that attached. The next thing we'll do is go to your role here at the bottom. And we're going to select whatever your role is. Pick one of these. I'm going to say co-investigator for this one. And you can also pick, if you want other, and write in your other role if that is something you need to put in, but we should have most everything covered. I'm going to say co-investigator. And then you need to enter your appointment type. All right, so this is if you are in a 12-month calendar year appointment at your university, you can put in 12 right here, and you'll see that it blocked out academic and summer salaries. If I delete that, and maybe you are on a 9-month academic, 3-month summer schedule, you can do that here, and you'll see that it blocks out the calendar year salary. This is just a way for the system to know what type of schedule you're on. I'm going to go ahead and make this one easy and say this person is on a 12-month calendar year system here. So, and I'm going to put in their base calendar year salary, let's say at $100,000 a year. And let's say this person works 2 months, calendar months. You'll see that it auto calculated the requested salary, and then type in the fringe benefit rate right here, or not the rate, but the dollar value right here, and you'll see the funds requested. And you can do this for every single one of these budget items if you like here. I'm going to go ahead and, whoops, put that in here. And you can make these, maybe 1 year they're working 3. You can go ahead and fill all of that out. And I'll just say fringe benefits, 2,000, 3,000, and so on. So once you've filled all of that out, you've got the budgeting done for this person. So I'm going to hit close here, and we'll go back to our next screen. Now what I want to focus on is let's look at the bottom of the screen. We've got some errors that we need to fix. The goal of this is to get everything down to 0 errors. And it looks like we need to fill out some information for the key person. So if you click on any of these hyperlinks, it'll bring you to exactly where you need to fix information. So what happens is in the key person's data, if I click this plus or minus, or if I click that hyperlink, it'll bring me right to where I need to make some changes. So you'll see that for Roland Jackson, we need to put in as much information as here as we can, and that'll get rid of some of these errors. So let's work on that now. Okay, I've filled in most of this information. One thing you'll want to do is this credential agency login. This will be your ERA Commons login, so make sure that you have that available and put that in here. Again, we're going to ignore NSF. Try not to use this for NSF proposals if you can. And we've got a few other errors that we need to fix here. So those will go away in a minute as we go into the budget. So now let's move on to the budget and see what we can do. Before we do that, just know that every time you switch pages, it does save, or you can click the save button up here at the top. So anytime you switch pages or hit save, it'll save for you. With that, let's move on to the budget and finish filling this out. The layout of the budget section is a little bit different. You'll notice that there are 4 pages here on the left-hand side. But up here at the top, you'll see that there is a budget period 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what we're going to do is go through and fill out this budget. We're going to start with the budget period 1. You can either use the drop-down or the arrows to move back and forth. But we're going to go ahead and put in the start date and end date of this one. So I believe earlier we said that if this was going to start on July 1st. The good thing is it'll automatically calculate all of those dates for you if you just go ahead and put in the start date. And it'll calculate the end date, assuming that you're doing 1-year period lengths. So let's go ahead and do that. And now, if I go to budget period 2, you can see that start date is there. So that just automatically filled all of our start dates. Very handy. And now we're going to go through and work on these proposals. So let's just say this is the only senior key person we have on the proposal. Here, you can add in, if you have anybody else, other postdocs that you want to add. Let's just say we have a little bit of something here. And here you need to put the indirect cost type. So we're going to say this will be IDC type 1. We'll fill that out later on in section 3. We'll go to page 2. And you'll see here in page 2 if you need to add equipment, travel costs, anything there. We're going to just keep moving on. And then in section 3, you can put in your other direct costs. And here you can change your indirect cost type. So if you have some materials that are involved with this too, you can add that here. Publication costs, you can select that. and just go through and you can add your own other direct costs if you want here as well. And then we'll scroll down a little bit at the bottom and we will see the indirect cost type. This system will give you 4 different picks. So if you have 4 different rates you might need to use for this, we've been selecting IDC type 1 for everything here. So whatever your university has as your indirect cost rate, you can put it in here. So let's say this is 25%. When you do that, it'll look for anything you've mentioned in the budget and it'll do 25% of this cost base, and those are the funds requested for IDC. So you filled all of that out and go to the bottom here. Make sure you add your budget justification as well. It's very important to do that. So find that on your computer and add that and upload it. And with that, we are going to look at page 4. Page 4 just shows the cumulative budget so far. But all we've done, if I go back to page 1, we've only done budget period 1. There are 2 things you could do at this point. You could go to budget period 2 and start filling all this out as well and do this for each budget period, what we just did to complete the entire budget. Feel free to use that nice, safe, easy way to do it. However, if you want to quickly build out your budget, what you can do is use the replicate escalate button. And if you do that, you can click the stair step. This is totally optional, but it's a fast way to fill out the budget if you feel like you can get this done pretty quickly. Let's just say you want to copy the budget period 1 through budget period 5. What you can do is replicate everything over that you've selected here. So let's say you want to copy, we've already done senior key persons for everything. So let's just say all of these other things we want to copy over from budget period 1 all the way through budget period 5. We can hit replicate and it'll copy all of that information to every single budget period. Alternatively, if you wanted to say for cost of living increases or whatever your university is allowed for a rate increase every year, if you wanted to, you could put whatever your rate is and it will go up by 3% every budget period. So if I did that, let's pretend that my university allows me to go up with my budget by 3% every year. If I click escalate, now I'm on budget period 1, but if I move to budget period 2, you'll see that the funds requested are going up as I move. It's going up by that 3% every year. And it's filled out every single bit of my budget if I go on to page 3 for every single budget period. So there we go. But you'll make sure you need to put in your indirect cost base for all of these as well. Sometimes they will not copy over. You'll just need to go through and check your errors here at the bottom too. It'll let you know where you need to fix everything. So I'm just going to go and put in my IDC rate here. Make sure that's all getting filled out correctly. I'm going to hit save. I've got some more warnings and errors. Let's see. This one says I need to put in calendar months. Oh, so here you go. I'm going to say this person is working 12 months on this proposal. And there we go. I'm going to do that for other personnel in every section. So you can see how the error checking will help you find things you've missed. You'll see my errors are now going down to almost 0 as I finish everything here. So that's just some quick tips on filling out the budget. If you have a budget already, you can just type it in here, but this will do some calculations for you if you like. So now that we're down to 0 errors, 0 warnings, there's one bit of information here, just a reminder about the science CV for the bio sketches, but don't worry about any informational problems there. Once you're down to 0 errors, this thing is ready to export and send to Tulane. So here's how to do that. What you can do is go to this export button. If you click export, it'll enter a name for it automatically. This will export a .cayuse file, .cayuse, and when you click export, it'll download to your default location. And when you get to that default location, all you have to do is get that .cayuse file and email it to us here at Tulane. And we will import it into our system, and it'll be part of our main proposal. So very simple, easy way for getting your proposals put in using subawards.com, exporting it using the export tool here, and then sending it to Tulane. So reach out to us if you need any help with any of this. We'll be more than happy to help. All right, let's say you've actually already filled out one of those NIH R&R budget forms, and you can actually import it into here and finish up using subawards.com if you want. It'll save you a little bit of time if you just want to do that. So if you have one of those forms filled out, instead of go to create proposal, go to import. And we're going to just call this import test. And then we're going to pick that R&R budget form. I think I have one that I've previously filled out here as a test. And we're going to import this form. And you'll see when we do, it's going to give some information here. So this one's letting you know that this BioSketch has too long of a title. So I'm just going to remove some of the letters here. Just call it something random here and confirm import. So now when you import the proposal, it'll import that PDF that you've maybe already created, and you're just going to go to the errors and warnings and fill out everything here. So, you'll still need to fill out your performance site, key person info, anything that's missing here, and if there's any missing sections of your budget. But you can go off of these errors and warnings just to finish filling everything out. So just know that there's a couple of different ways to do it. You can create a proposal from scratch and do your research subaward, or if you have a PDF, you can import the PDF and work off of it here as well. And remember, once you're done, you can just go into the export button and export that Cayuse file. And reach out to us if you need any other assistance.